Man, imagine you could become so dangerously charming that no woman could ever say no to you. That's what I'm going to teach you in the next 12 minutes. However, man, if you can't sit here and watch this video in full screen and pay full attention, bro, then you're lost, and I'm sorry, I can't help you. To become more attractive than 99% of men, guess what you got to do? What they don't do, because they're too lazy or too unaware. And that is integrating your 4 masculine archetypes, which I'm going to help you do today. It's going to blow you the fuck away. So why is it so powerful and so magnetic when you integrate your 4 masculine archetypes? Because you're going to appeal to the primary desires every woman has. And most men don't even fucking know about that. And think about it, man. I'm going to give you knowledge and actionable steps today that most men will never see. And that's going to put you ahead of the game immediately. So first of all, let's start understanding what are archetypes, because maybe you have never heard of that word before. I want you to think of yourself as a ship, yeah? And you are the captain of the ship. And your entire body, all the parts, your arms, your legs, whatever, your heart, your brain, your mind is part of the ship. Now that ship has also crew members, 4 specifically. Those are your archetypes. And they help you steer the ship. Now, if you have not integrated these 4 archetypes, no matter what you or what direction you give the crew and the ship, these archetypes will always sort of sabotage it, because they don't respect you, because you have not listened to them, you have not integrated them, you know? So signs that you haven't integrated your masculine archetypes are: you overshare around women, you engage in road rage, you act like a clown around women, you try to impress them desperately, you know, or you're super emotional. All of those things are like signs that you're quite needy around women, and that makes you unattractive as fuck. So essentially what I'm going to help you today with is becoming non-needy, becoming your authentic masculine self, and that makes you super magnetic, because 99% of men are too afraid to do that kind of work, because you got to embrace your demons, so to say. So what are those 4 crew members on your ship? So let's start with Patrick. So Patrick is the assertive, confident guy inside of you. And you will notice that women, especially like when you want a feminine woman, they're looking for like an assertive leader. So your Patrick archetype is the guy inside of you, or like your crew member, who helps give direction. He provides leadership. He gets shit done. He's disciplined, you know? And that is super magnetic, because it makes you reliable, as well as it conveys that you have a vision for life, that you have some sort of idea of where you want to get to in life. And that is super, super attractive for women, because at the end of the day, they want to follow someone. They don't even the queen wants to follow a king. Yeah. So how do you integrate your Patrick? You're gonna ask yourself, okay, what kind of man do I want to become? What skills do I want to develop? Or what kind of skills does this man that I want to become have? And if you struggle with figuring out or discovering or like visualizing the kind of man that you want to become, just pick like a masculine role model, you know, like a guy that you look up to, and then ask yourself, okay, what kind of traits, skills does this person have, this guy have, you know? And also, very, very important, ask yourself, where am I bullshitting myself? A lot of guys have like a very weakly integrated Patrick, because they never confront their ego. They never confront the shit they're putting up with. They never confront their self-sabotaging behavior. And quite frankly, it's because most men have become super lazy. They cope with alcohol, video games, whatever. And that's why they never ask themselves, where am I bullshitting myself? Because they don't have the ambition, they don't have the vision for life, you know? Now, let's move on to Don Juan. Because if you are only in your Patrick sort of assertive leadership, it's going to be fucking boring for her. And the next primary desire that women have is fun and fantasies. Now, that is almost like your childlike crew member, you know? He keeps things light. He keeps interactions with women light, you know? Like, he doesn't take himself too serious. He's not a clown, you know? He doesn't try to impress a woman. He just is there to have a good time, to have fun. He cracks a joke. He isn't afraid to tease. He isn't afraid to flirt. And he does make interactions just light, you know, they flow. So how does he do that? by deploying cold reads, you know. That could be a statement like, hey, you seem like a troublemaker, or you seem like adventurous, for instance, in a conversation. And he's also super nonchalant. Yeah, he's super, I think I butchered that fucking expression. He's super chilled, man, you know? And that's why it's super magnetic, because he just radiates his positive energy, you know? It's like, yeah, yo, let's go. Let's get it fucking done today, you know? That's the kind of vibration he has. You can think of Ryan Reynolds as a sort of like a celebrity who's like that, you know? The kind of exercises for you to integrate that Don Juan is, like, you can watch Matt Rife. I tell my clients usually to watch like 10-15 minutes of Matt Rife's crowd work per day. And then, like, one of my fucking favorite exercises that I currently have my guys do is record themselves talk to a traffic light out on the road, because it helps you expose yourself. It puts you in a very vulnerable position, and it makes you look weird. And that's what a lot of guys are afraid of, to look weird. Because think about it. If you're the kind of guy who has the confidence of walking around and looking stupid without being faced by it, that is an ultimate sign of confidence, which is a woman magnet. And it's going to keep a woman so attractive. Like, if I look at, like, when I look at my relationship now with Sandra, for instance, you know, the reason why, like, one of the reasons why she's so obsessed with me in a very healthy way, yeah, is because I've integrated all of those four, but especially because I have, like, I'm very much in my Don Juan and my Noah energy, because I don't take things too serious, you know. We can, I fool around, I crack bad jokes. I don't care whether or not she likes them or not, you know. And sometimes I scare her, I hide somewhere, you know. So it's those small things that she appreciates, that keep her on her toes, you know. One exercise or like one thing that I sometimes do is like just make weird animal noises to get myself out of my head again, because that's what a lot of high achievers like us are like struggling with. We're too stuck in our head, you know. And if you can convey to the world out there that you don't give a shit, not in a condescending way, but that you do not care about their opinion of yourself, or that you care more about your own opinion of yourself, without being a narcissist, obviously, rather than their opinion of yourself, that is an ultimate sign of, I'm okay, I accept myself for who I am. And that is just what women love to be around with, because it allows them to be themselves as well, man. And fundamentally, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, I think Alfred Adler, Erich Kästner, they all said, at the end of the day, the older we get, the more we just want to be ourselves again. You know, we want to remove the mask that society has put on us. Anyway, so Don Juan, Patrick done. And what you notice is these two represent traditional masculinity. So we're now going to move to, let's say, I think Carl Jung called it the animus or anima, I don't remember which one it is. Is more like the feminine energy that you have inside of you. And bro, now don't click away. You're like, oh my gosh, feminine energy. I don't want to be feminine. Like, shut the fuck up, man. You have feminine energy, and it's actually extremely vital to integrate your feminine energy. Doesn't mean that you become a pussy automatically. It means that you are actually getting in touch with your emotions, because believe it or not, man, Patrick and Don Juan are the archetypes that get a woman attracted to you. But if you truly want her to stick around and create like a deep emotional bond, man, you need Noah. Yeah, that is your feeler. That is the guy who creates a deep emotional connection with a woman. You know, that is the guy that makes her feel like something she's never like felt before. And you do that by making her feel seen. You don't judge her emotionally, or you don't judge her. You allow her to open up to you with questions like, either in a date or in a relationship, with questions like, hey, what would you do if you had all the money in the world? What would be your biggest regret in life if you wouldn't do it? These are kind of questions that allow her to like truly open up to you. And a lot of guys in relationships, they become too comfortable, and then they stop putting in this effort and getting to know their partner. And for instance, with Sandra, what we're doing is every month we write on this whiteboard, where can we improve, where are we slacking, where are we plateauing, and how can we get to know each other better. And this is super controversial. Sandra and I, we work through our like trauma, childhood trauma and shit together. And guess what? She's still here. And guess what? She actually becomes, week by week, she's more in love with me, man. And sometimes I'm actually quite scared how good I am, you know? But then I look at my clients and see, okay, it's actually not only me, it's my clients also crush it with in their relationships, not because they're playing games, but because they have the right tools to understand themselves and understand their partner so that they can work through shit together. I had a client yesterday who told me, hey, my girl, he's a guy who's very Patrick and Don Juan, and the girl was like saying that she needs some space because he was a bit too pushy, you know, after a year. And he was about to, like, his ego got involved, and I told him, hey man, like, take a step back, just give her some space. Trust me, give her some space. Show her that she is allowed to show her vulnerable side, that she's allowed to have a bad day. And guess what? Next day she said, hey, I'm sorry for my emotional outburst yesterday, I was overwhelmed. That's the power of having this emotional connection, this emotional depth, emotional understanding, that women don't think like men, they don't act like men. And yes, sometimes you need to like assert yourself and create like a boundary there, but sometimes it's also just it's good to understand that they don't act logically all the time, because they experience emotions twice as strong as us. That's why it takes them longer to process those emotions, you know? And for you as a man to like integrate your Noah, the best thing you can do is journal every day. Ask yourself, how do I feel? What sensations do I feel inside of my body? And listen to, and I know like this sounds gay, but listen to love songs, Adele, these kind of artists, not for more than 10 minutes per day, otherwise you're gonna get like too soft. But you need to integrate your soft side, because at the end of the day, women, they want a gentle rock, yeah, not a rock. So that's your Noah. And then to finish it off, bro, Martin, that's your fourth archetype. That's the empath. This is the guy that's a typical, like, that's what I see a lot of guys in the West are a bit like too dominant in. They're too empathetic. They sacrifice themselves for their partner, or they try to build too much rapport on a date. So usually I tell my clients, your Martin should only be present 10% of your life or your time, you know? And yeah, Martin is the empath. So how do you, because most men are really good at being empathetic, so I don't really want to spend too much time on that, because yeah, to get ahead of the other men, Noah, Patrick, and Don Juan is what you need. But an exercise to integrate your Martin, if you are like a little bit light on Martin as a crew member, listen without the need to respond. Just listen, observe the body language of that other person, listen to the vibration, like pick up on the vibration. Yeah, man. And with that being said, crush it. If you wanna work with me, there's a link somewhere. You can join my community. We've got some epic guys, high achievers only. We all want to become the best possible version of ourselves. So yeah, would love to see you there. Love and peace. Ciao, ciao.